When the heretics of chaos, the foul aliens, and the traitorous rebels face down the Imperial Guard, nothing strikes a feeling of hopelessness and dread more than seeing 11 barrels of unmatched firepower staring back at them. The extremely rare and highly respected Baneblade Super Heavy tank is perhaps the greatest asset an Imperial Guard regiment could have in its arsenal, if the regiment is lucky enough to be blessed by one of these nigh unstoppable war machines. Being created before humanity fell into a state of decay and technological stagnation, the Baneblade was rumored to once be considered an obsolete light tank when humanity was at their technological peak, but it is now one of the most valuable ground assets humanity has in its unending defense of their rotting Imperium. Having a length of 13.5 meters and weighing well over 300 tons, the Baneblade projects an unstoppable presence on the battlefield, and with its near impenetrable armor and weapons that can level the strongest of fortifications, it more than backs up its intimidating appearance. The massive tank requires a crew of 9 highly trained Imperial Guardsmen, having a commander, driver, tactical officer, 3 gunners, and 3 loaders. Each Baneblade is also given a tech priest of the Adeptus Mechanicus to ensure the tank's machine spirit is properly maintained. The inside of the Baneblade is more akin to a battleship than a tank, as the massive size of the Baneblade requires an elevator to be installed in the vehicle, so crew members can move from one of the 3 main decks, and to transport the massive shells to the loaders. The firepower of the Baneblade is only surpassed by the mighty Titans in use by the Imperium, and similar sized vehicles used by the many alien races. Its main gun, known as the Mega Battle Cannon, or more simply known as the Baneblade Cannon, fires a suspected 220mm rocket-propelled explosive, with a demolisher cannon to cut through entire hordes of infantry with ease. Its secondary armaments are also very formidable, being 2 massive las cannons, 3 heavy bolters, and 1 coaxial autocannon. There is also an option to equip a hunter-killer missile system to further increase the firepower of the Baneblade. Like many vehicles constructed on the Forge World of Mars, the Baneblade is highly adaptable and comes with a plethora of different variants, one of the most notable being the Stormblade, which replaces the Baneblade cannon with a much more advanced and deadly plasma blast gun, giving the tank the ability to challenge the massive Titan mechs and the amount of firepower it can dish out. Or the Stormlord, which replaces the main gun with a Vulcan Mega Bolter, and although this does decrease the overall firepower of the Baneblade, it does give it the ability to transport 40 fully equipped Imperial Guardsmen, turning the Baneblade into a very well armed and armored troop transport. The Baneblade has earned reputable fame across the Imperium of Man for their firepower and sheer terror they bring onto the battlefield, but no Baneblade has earned more fame than the Baneblade commanded by the equally famous Commissar Sebastian Yarrick, who commanded his Baneblade against the largest orc invasion recorded by mankind. The old Commissar unfortunately had to abandon his tank after it was critically damaged, but it was later recovered years later and restored to working order, right before the Third War for the Forge World of Armageddon began. The Baneblade is by far the most feared armored vehicle in use by the Imperium of Man, dishing out devastating firepower and soaking up an equal amount in return. The tanks are so well revered that each Baneblade to leave the production lines of the many Forge Worlds in the Imperium get their name and serial number carved into the walls of the factories that built them. I'd like to thank you for watching today's video. If you'd like to see more, please consider subscribing to stay up to date with all future videos that are released on this channel. Also, quick little update before the video ends. I finally got an upload schedule all set up. A new video will be released every week, no more sporadic random uploads. Anyway, I'll see you guys next week.